Wildlife agents say a female grizzly bear that killed a woman near West Yellowstone in July has been shot and killed by wildlife agents. A Cheyenne-based cryptocurrency operation says Chinese companies are taking advantage of Wyoming's regulations to push locals out of business. And the new Laramie County Sheriff is rounding up a posse. Bringing you these stories and more from Wyoming's largest news organization, I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily. A female grizzly bear that killed a woman near West Yellowstone in July was shot and killed by wildlife agents Saturday. The Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks Department announced on Wednesday that genetic analysis and other identifying characteristics confirmed that the 10-year-old female was the same grizzly that killed 47-year-old Amy Adamson of Kansas in July. The bear was initially left alone to go free, but was shot and killed by wildlife agents late Saturday after it broke into a house in West Yellowstone. The grizzly's 46-pound male cub was captured and sent to a wildlife rehabilitation center in Helena, Montana. This is the third grizzly shot and killed recently in Montana. Chinese-connected corporations have allegedly acquired land next to a Cheyenne-based Bitcoin mining operation in the Campstool Business Park outside Cheyenne, which has then killed an agreement that the local company had with the state of Wyoming. Political reporter Leah Wolfson says that Sean Murphy, who represents Cheyenne-based Bison Blockchain, warned lawmakers at a Wednesday meeting about Chinese companies taking advantage of Wyoming's regulations to push locals out of business.
He was saying that a conglomerate of about 8 different companies tied to China in various different ways basically performed a hostile takeover of his company, and they infringed on a contract and an agreement that they had with Black Hills Energy, and now they're saying these companies have taken over the agreement and made it nearly impossible for them to do business in Wyoming.
Murphy said that although some of the companies that buried Bison Blockchain are based in Wyoming, they are all connected to China. Well, headlines around the world are shouting that this summer has been the hottest one the planet has experienced in 125,000 years. But a professor of geological sciences says the reality is that there were no thermometers in 123,000 BC. Dr. Matthew Wylicki, former assistant professor in the Department of Geological Sciences at the University of Alabama, told Cowboy State Daily such estimates rely on what's called proxy data, such as tree rings, ice cores, and sediment cores. Proxy data has some shortcomings, however, when it's combined with modern temperature measurements. Modern measurements cover large areas of the globe, whereas proxies are obtained from a region or single location. I'll be back with more news right after this.
At Hilltop Bank, we understand that buying a home is a big decision. That's why we're here to be your trusted partner on the path to home ownership. Our experienced mortgage team will guide you every step of the way, from pre-approval to closing. We offer competitive rates and a wide variety of home loan options to best suit your needs. With our local knowledge and personalized service, you'll feel confident and comfortable throughout the entire home buying process. Contact us today to start your journey toward home ownership. Hilltop Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Standing 6'7" with a booming voice, former Wyoming House Speaker Nell Smith was an enormous presence in Wyoming. And as Cowboy State Daily's Leah Wolfson reports, the late legislator, who died last week in a car crash north of Lingle, was the architect of a constitutional amendment that prohibits a state income tax in Wyoming.
Al Simpson, who was good friends with Nell Smith. Al told me that Nell's knew how to get things done, including the constitutional amendment that led to basically the nullification of any future state income tax in Wyoming.
Smith and his wife Jeanette died in the car crash last Friday that also took the life of 44-year-old Torrington resident Alicia Rodriguez. And the Laramie County Sheriff says there's a perception out there that criminals aren't going to get stopped. So Brian Kozak is reviving an Old West law enforcement tradition by rounding up a posse of volunteers to guard against smash and grab thieves. This will be the first year of Sheriff Kozak's Posse, a program for volunteers to help deputies monitor stores during the busy holiday shopping season. They'll be in uniform and on the lookout for shoplifters and other law violators, Kozak told Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland.
It is a Western Sheriff's Office. And when a sheriff in the Old West was confronted with a threat, he rounded up the posse. And Kozak is hosting an open house this month for interested volunteers. And he touted it as a way to get retired cops or other people who maybe want to be a part of the law enforcement experience involved.
Kozak added that the program could come in handy next summer for Cheyenne Frontier Days as well. And that's today's news. You can read about all of these stories and more on CowboyStateDaily.com. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.